welcome back to TitanReach. I have crafted all the bear gloves and arrows you could ever dream to have. And with that, we got all sorts of nice skills. We got to level 40 in all melee styles, fighting the bears. Now we're level 37. So that's pretty good. 35 range from fighting a few chickens to get the feathers for all the arrows. Survival got up to 50. So I think that's enough to make the next bow. And artisan 45 for full bear leather. In the bank, we got 4,900 steel arrows, 6,800 iron arrows. Used quite a few potions, getting the 539 bearskin gloves. And as an added bonus, we got 2 defense amulets. Now, unless these have some kind of special property, they're worth more as money than amulets, because our sapphire amulet already gives 30 armor. It's worth 10,000. So, really cool. Let us grab out one of our bearskin gloves and the rest of the bearskin leather, bear leather. Needle is still not implemented, but it is. Go to bearskin, make a full set. Got the boots, got the cowl, got the legs, and the chest. Now, stats-wise, it's 30, 36, 24, 45, and 24. 30, 36, 24, 45, 24. So it looks like it's the same as steel, just in leather form. And it still looks like a reskin of the other leathers. That's still being worked on. So, not as impressive. But now we have a full set of bearskin and wolf. I don't know if they're going to be changing the base leathers. Either way. And we could go and throw all these bearskin gloves in the shop, but they've got the same value as wolf pelt and regular leather gloves, so that might be changing when they change the values of things, so probably not going to do that quite yet. What else we got? With survival, we can take all these extra logs. Don't really need willow logs for anything particular. If we're gonna go do fishing, I think we would probably either do prawns or yabbies. I think it's just kind of far away. So with our willow logs and our 50 survival, we can now make willow longbows unstrung. Make one of these. These are also worth 200. So, willow shortbow or willow longbow. Doesn't make much difference. They're both 200 instead of 70, which is honestly really, really good. That's the same value as making steel arrow tips. But instead of having to mine 2 coal and an iron, and then bring them to the forge, make them to a steel ingot with metallurgy and then make it into steel arrow tips, you just need a single willow log. And then one crafting step. That's a lot less for generating an item worth 200 right now. One resource, and then one crafting step, instead of 3 resources and 2 crafting steps. Each of these is 80. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty good. What else we got sold in here? Just general stuff. Wolf pelt boots. Steel axes. Leather gloves. See, leather gloves here are also worth 60, so. I would anticipate bear leather gloves being increased in price. So, kind of want to hold on to these. As much as we could sell these right now, it'd be worth a lot more later. Possibly. Maybe. And as for the arrows, I kind of still need to train range more if I want to be able to use the better bows. So, then we're going to be holding on to these for now. I did the math, and if I sold all the gloves and arrows, that'd be over 100,000 gold right now, just to the shop. I think people might buy these for a lot more than that, but again, I still need to train range more. It's only 35, which is just barely our lowest skill behind woodcutting. So, that's definitely something we need to work on. And I think we're going to probably train range against something besides chickens. I feel like we're losing out a lot of the potential experience from hitting so many 50s and just one hitting the chickens. It seems to be experience is based on the amount of damage dealt. So if we're constantly over-hitting, that's just a waste of arrows. I also used a few ranging potions while I was collecting the feathers. And annoyingly, the guards that dropped copper arrowheads dropped 25, and you can only make these in stacks of 10 rather. So we just got 5 copper arrowheads in our bank, waiting. All these rubies, could probably do something with those. Saving those for a rainy day, I suppose. Okay. I want to go test this out. Let's get our steel axe ready. Oh, we're in the floor now. Yeah, it's probably fine. Oh yeah. That doesn't normally happen. I went from wielding the willow shortbow to the steel axe, and it dropped me into the floor. Oh, we're still on the floor. Okay. This is fine. It's not stopping me from going, so I'm okay with that. And it didn't stop us from going over the bridge either. Interesting. Anyways, we are off to go mine some... Well, yes, we're going to mine the trees. No. We're going to chop the trees. Woodcutting is still one of our lowest skills. So. And the next tree isn't until level 50. So. Yeah, there we go. So if we're going to just chop some trees, we have many options of what we want to do with these logs. We could sell them. We could burn them. We could turn them into arrow shafts. Or we could turn them into bows. Now, I haven't looked at exactly the experience that you get between all those other options. But I think they're all going to be survival experience. Well, except for dropping them, of course. We just have to decide the pros and cons of each option here. If we do fire making, we don't need to leave the trees. That's less traveling around. 37 woodcutting. But it's also a lot of clicking, because you have to make the fires manually. and all that. If we made arrow shafts, we would be able to make more arrows. But we don't currently have any other sources of arrows. Besides, I guess we could fight some more town guards, get the steel ingots and copper arrow tips. So, if we do any more of that, then I would make more arrows out of that. But for right now, really don't need any more arrow shafts. So I'm thinking, I'm probably just going to work on woodcutting here. Going for level 50 for the other tree. And just turn all the willow logs all the way to level 50 into bows, unstrung, and selling them to the shop for 80 each. Let's see if we can get some. See if we get some numbers here. Each log is worth 39 experience. Yep, 39. And level 50 is in the range of 1,000 difference there. 98, 97, 96, 95. 95,000. Get the calculator up. Let's say 95,000. It's not gonna be exact or anything, we're just getting an idea here. We currently have 28,893 woodcutting XP. Divide that by, is it 30, 39? 1,600. Multiply that by 80. Yeah, that would just be straight up like 130,000 gold. Just immediate 130,000 cash by getting to level 50 woodcutting here. That's actually a crazy amount compared to how little money we've had previously. This seems a little bit absurd. I guess it has value because instead of being useful as ammunition for ranged experience or useful as arrow tips for getting survival and ranged experience, once you make this bow, that's it. You could go and get flax, turn into bowstrings, string the bow. That does not seem really worth it as much. It's basically, I think it was even less money for making the strong bow or something. And yeah, 200 each on these. That's really good. I could definitely see this working out. I guess we do need more survival speed. But this gives survival XP too. Probably, I would say probably gives less than turning them into arrow shafts. And then going collecting feathers and collecting ores and making the ingots and making the arrowheads and feathering the shafts and making the arrows. So, in the grand scheme, it would take us a lot more bows here, just doing this way, to get to the level to make the highest level bows. Also on that, we get 2,400 gold every trip around this, so that's pretty good. There's 10k. As far as best ways to get back to the trees, we can either go up that way, which is more out of the way that way, or we can go this way, which is slightly out of the way this way. Can't swim up this waterfall, unfortunately. Yeah, if we just do this to 50 woodcutting, that's a huge amount of profit. Combine that with maybe trying to sell off some of the items we already have. Or we can just keep going at this. It's gonna be this quick. I'm not too concerned about getting to 250,000 just doing this. Yeah. If it's gonna be 2,400 per trip, that's only like 100 trips. That's a lot, though. Yeah, that's probably fine. I don't even know what woodcutting level that would get us to. I guess we could also, depending on how things progress, once we get to 50, we could see if we have the survival level to be able to make the cherry bows. I don't know how well this would mesh, because mining, metallurgy, forging rounds were slightly off. So I don't know how directly you could relate woodcutting to survival experience. And plus we already have a massive head start on survival experience, but the bows also take a higher level to make, so it's a whole question. Going back to the bears, we did need to kill 500 of those to make all those gloves and then the full bear outfit. So getting the 2 amulets was actually pretty lucky. They've got I think it was roughly 1 in 500. So getting 2 was twice as many as you expect. Can't complain there. But we also did not get the pet. We are still rocking just the chicken pet. And at this point, we would have it no matter what happened, because we've killed so many chickens. So many chickens to make all these arrows. My goodness. I just like how people just fall from the sky in this game. You're doing anything, suddenly, people from the sky. When you don't have fall damage, they just let you do it. Just happens. Yeah, it doesn't matter if we make the... I guess there's a large possibility that making the longbows might give more experience. So we're definitely going to go with the longbows. Everything else the same. It has a higher level requirement, so one would think it might give more XP. There's a good chance of that. What survival XP is this? 39 again? So it's just the same? Okay, that's fine. Same as the woodcutting. So if it's gonna be the same as that, we're gonna get like at least 60,000 there. We're gonna get at least 60,000 here. 160,000. Yeah, we don't have too much. That's gonna be at least level 53. We need level 60 and 65 for the cherry bows. And then presumably a very high range level too, which is, again, our lowest stat here, so. We just take our bows, chuck them in here. That's highly profitable right there. I think no matter what, we're gonna end up getting to at least 50 woodcutting with this whole making the bows and selling them to the store concept. That seems like probably the right thing to do here. I don't know if that's gonna give us enough survival XP to be able to do anything with the cherry logs, though. Based on the fact that it gives the same amount of experience, I don't know exactly what the curve is, but I think level 60 is gonna be a lot more experience than this. There's just this dip right here. Get stuck in there a lot. But yeah. If it's 60 survival, I don't know what we'd have to do for that. Maybe it would just be more of this. Maybe it would just be unstrung willow longbows until level 60 survival. That could be an incredible amount. Might even be enough to make the sword. Who knows? I would want to at least get to that level to be able to make use of the logs. Even if we get 50 woodcutting, if we can't actually do anything with the logs, it's not really worth anything. I think we'd still make... I think every log, it's only level 1 to make them into arrow shafts. So, that would at least be something. I don't know. As far as things left that we can't do, there is potions, bows. I think that's pretty much it. Oh. You could say we can't kill an elite guard yet, but I think we're getting pretty good at the running back and forth thing. But they've got the swords, so they have the speed advantage there. So I probably want the super sword before we try that. Yeah, this is not that slow. Just do 100 rounds of this. That's not a problem. Very profitable. And it's experience in the skills that we still need experience in, so that's just a huge win, really. Doesn't get us more ranged experience, though. But, I mean, I guess that's what all those arrows are for, if you want to bother with that. From what I understand, the steel arrows are not much better than the iron arrows, even though they're way more expensive. So they've got a pretty similar player price. If people are still trying range, I don't know. Yeah, with ranged, we're at level 35 plus in all skills. And only 3 skills under 40 still. Seems to be that vitality is roughly fit into being the same level as all your other combat skills. So dexterity, strength, defense, and ranged. I wouldn't be too surprised if getting to 40 ranged would get us to 40 vitality. Especially since there's so many more levels here still. Might be slightly above it. But we got all that experience and all the melee skills, and they got ahead of vitality there, so. Something to consider. Well, not really. It's the hit points skill. You don't really consider training it. It just kind of happens. I guess that's pretty much it for now. We're up to 15,000 gold already. Very cool. Might see if anybody's interested in buying a defense amulet. I think I still want to keep one. I don't think they have a visual on the character. Let's try taking off the chest plate. Nope. Yeah. As far as I can tell, that's just a sapphire amulet, except with a value of 10,000. So, yeah. It's something. I guess our main goal right now is going to be the wood cutting. Try to get that up to 50 at least. See where that gets our survival to. And make a ton of profit in the process. And then we can check out the final tree. And see if it's worthwhile bringing those all the way back here. Or if we just would want to make fires all the way over there next to the bears. So, we will look into that next time. Goodbye.